Okay, so the exercise of this week will be about the heat exchanger network design, the print design method that the professor just explained. So you have to identify how many heat exchangers you need in your system and where to place them. Finally, you have to estimate the investment cost. So by adding the investment cost of each heat exchanger you decided to place and the operating cost of hot and cold utilities. So we will start with the system that you found in the previous exercise. So last week you computed the energy bill of the industrial process and also you estimated the minimum energy requirement and the new energy bill under when you can achieve the maximum energy recovery. Now the goal of the heat exchanger network design is to use the minimum number of heat exchangers so that you can achieve the maximum heat recovery. And you should divide your system into subsystems above the pinch point and below the pinch point. Above the pinch point, the goal is to cool down all the hot streams without using cold utility, and below the pinch point is to heat up all the cold streams without using hot utilities. So first step to do is to represent your streams with the grid representation. So you can switch to the corrected temperature domain. You have already computed your pinch point for the minimum temperature difference that you've chosen. And you can sketch all the cold and hot streams. You will identify, so for example, here AB stands for above the pinch point and BL for below the pinch point. So for example, for the cold stream A, the stream starts at the pinch point and it will, the outlet temperature is 50 AB and you can compute 2 AB as the heat capacity of the stream times the temperature difference between the outlet temperature of the stream and the pinch point. And you can do it for all the streams looking above and below the pinch point. And as you have learned today, you have a series of rules that have to be satisfied. In particular, feasibility rules must be satisfied. And you have the first rule is the number of streams. So for example, above the pinch point, the number of cold pinch streams have to be greater than the number of hot pinch streams. And it's the reverse in below the pinch point. And then other two rules regarding the heat capacity. So still above the pinch point, the heat capacity, when you decide to identify two streams, the heat capacity of the hot stream has to be smaller or equal than the heat capacity of the cold stream. And it has to apply also to all the remaining streams. So the sum of the heat capacity of all remaining hot streams has to be smaller or equal than the sum of these capacities of all remaining cold streams. Then you have a series of heuristic rules to minimize the number of heat exchangers, and they are the tick-off rule, so you will always try to satisfy at least the requirement of one of the two streams. Splitting rules, so you would like to have isothermal mixing at the outlet of the heat exchanger. Then we will see how to apply those rules in practice. You will always try to start with the biggest, with the stream having the biggest heat capacity, and finally you will want to place your utilities at the end of the temperature range. The last step is to the remaining problem, to look at the remaining problem. So once you place an heat exchanger, you have to recalculate the MER and you have to check that it didn't change before with respect to the one before. So in that case, the heat exchanger is well placed. So this is an example very similar to the one that the professor just showed, but it's for the exercise that you are going to solve. So this is the first step. You have your system, you divide your system below and above the pinch point. So in this case, we are looking at the minimum temperature difference equal to 10. So, and let's start above the pinch point. You had your four streams, A, B, C, D. The pinch point temperature was 145 degrees C in the corrected temperature domain. So the first rule is the number of streams rule, and we have to check that the number of pinch cold streams is greater than the number of hot pinch hot streams. So in this case, they are all the four of them are pinch streams, and the rule is satisfied because 2 is equal to 2. And the second rule is about the capacity. So we start with the streams with the highest heat capacity that are stream A for the cold streams and stream C for the hot streams. The heat capacity of C has to be lower or equal than A. This is satisfied. And then we look at all other streams. In this case, we don't need to make the sum because we have just one hot and one cold stream. But in this case, the rule is not satisfied. So we go back, we take the biggest heat capacity of the hot stream, 25, and we split this stream. So we take the stream C, we have to split it in order to satisfy the heat load of stream B. So that this is the Teakov rule. We want to at least satisfy the complete load of one of the two streams. So we are looking at an heat exchanger. We want to place it between one stream that we will get from splitting stream C and stream B. The heat load is the heat load of stream B, so 48 kilowatt in this case. And now we have to understand how to split C. And we have the second receipt rule that tells us that we would like to have isothermal mixing after the heat exchanger. So we basically keep the temperature difference of stream C, so from the inlet to the pinch point. And in this case, in this way, we can compute the heat capacity of C1 of this stream, and as a consequence also of the remaining stream, because it's just the difference between the starting heat capacity of stream C and the one that we've just split. So now we have to check again, and we check if the heat capacity of C1, so this stream that we got from splitting, is lower or equal than the heat capacity of B. The rule is satisfied. We check again all the remaining streams. The rule is also satisfied, so we can place the heat exchanger E1. So here you want to place the heat exchanger E1 between C1 and B. And we have to check that the MER didn't change to be sure that the heat exchanger was well placed. And afterwards, now we have three streams that are stream A that was unchanged, stream C2 from the splitting of C, and stream B. And we have to start from step 1. So again, we should check that the number of pinch cold stream is equal, greater or equal than the number of stream pinch hot streams, and so on. And if one rule is not satisfied, you have to split, and you do it in an iterative way for all the streams until at the end you will define all the heat exchangers that you have to place, the streams which are involved, and also the hot and the cold utility requirements. So finally, you can compute the cost by summing up the investment cost of all the heat exchangers, the operating cost of the external utilities, and in this way you have achieved your heat exchanger network design. But you must remember that the solution is not unique, as the professor also mentioned, because you have a lot of degree of freedom in your problem. So I would suggest that you start looking at the exercise. You can start with this example and go on with your heat exchanger method.